He the mayor of New York City or Jerusalem? The outgoing mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, has spent the past few days in Israel, and today he gave a speech near the Western Wall stating that as the mayor of New York City, he was serving Israel. Take a listen to this.
My male team are here in Israel, and as I finish, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor, but I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to come back here to Israel to let you know that I served you as mayor. Coming from the mayor of an American city, he was serving a foreign nation. This is the kind of people that have entrenched American politics. They are people that are, for some reason, subservient to this foreign nation. Beyond all belief, it's a level of subservience that no other country in the history of the world has ever exhibited towards a foreign country. It's something completely alien to any other relationship between two countries. So, of course, this received a wave of backlash. Outgoing New York City Mayor Eric Adams concluded his tenure with a multi-day visit to Israel on the 16th, where he met Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, toured counter-terrorism facilities, and delivered an emotional speech at the Western Wall, expressing his bond with the Jewish community. I'm going to stop right there. Of course, what I'm reading to you is an AI summary, but what we understand is that he said he served Israel as mayor. He didn't say he served the Jewish people of New York City as their mayor. He said he served a foreign country as mayor. And there's a big difference there. If Eric Adams was against anti-Semitism and violence or hatred towards any group, which I completely agree with, we should be against that, then there should be no reason why he shouldn't be at synagogues in New York City telling his Jewish community in New York City, which there are many of them, that he represents and stands by them. But instead, he decided to go to a foreign nation and say that the reason he served an American city is for that nation, which is beyond belief. So, during the speech, Adams stated he served Israel as mayor and wished to be known as their brother, drawing widespread criticism on social media for suggesting divided loyalties. The trip highlighted contrasts with incoming mayor Zohran Mamdani, the city's first Muslim and South Asian mayor, who prioritizes progressive policies like affordable housing and has rejected visits to Israel. Now, of course, people on social media are mocking this and saying I should just stop paying taxes, to be honest. And people, of course, just here in disbelief. I got arrested for saying Britain and the West are occupied by Jewish supremacy. And of course, what you hear is somebody saying that they represent a foreign country. What other foreign country could a U.S. mayor go to and declare he served them without it being a scandal? I truly do not understand why this is so normalized. It feels like we're living in an alternate reality where the split happened after JFK's assassination, where things just took a turn towards Israel's entrenched in American foreign policy. That's how it feels, genuinely. So, of course, Eric Adams here is not, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It seems that Eric Adams, to me, represents the deep state in a way. And what I mean by that is when I think of the deep state, I'm thinking of an elite class that are influencing heavily and manipulating things behind the scene. And when I think of that, I think of specific names. It seems like it's almost as if it's a mafia of billionaire class elites that are working to skew US foreign policy regardless of who's elected. And when I think about Eric Adams being part of the deep state or being influenced by the deep state, I think about the billionaire class that influences him. Bill Ackman, for example, the billionaire Jewish Zionist of New York City. He has heavily influenced Eric Adams. Eric Adams has been very close. And for me, what made me realize Eric Adams simply does not serve the American people. This was prior to noticing Eric Adams' statements on Israel and what have you is when I saw how he reacted to the assassin that shot the CEO of the healthcare company, and seeing how he treated Luigi Mangione, where there are assassinations happening in New York City every day. People are being murdered. It's unfortunate, but it's true. But the fact that he decided to do a pep walk specifically for Luigi Mangione, and he comes up to him. I don't know if many of you guys remember this scene. It was on video, went viral, where Luigi Mangione is in handcuffs, and he decides to go to where his helicopter was being dropped off. And he said specifically, I wanted to go look him in the face so he knows that he shouldn't have done that in my city, something along those lines. To me, that's when I realized, okay, this guy represents the billionaire class, because he could have done that for any other murderer in New York City. It's happening on a daily, but because it was a rich CEO of a huge healthcare company, he felt like he needed to represent the interests of those billionaires by going and making sure that he receives the harshest punishment. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, he immediately lost the younger generation. Now, regardless of whether you're on the left or the right, I think you can just be objective and notice that when somebody is representing the interests of an elitist class, it simply doesn't resonate with the majority of Americans. Now, regardless of whether or not you believe Luigi Mangione's actions were abhorrent or not, that's aside the point. The point is that there were other murderers daily, but he decided to represent him. So that first gave me, a warning that, okay, this guy is part of that. He represents that group. And then seeing his statements about Israel, seeing the consistency of how much he talks about his allegiance to a foreign country. I don't know if others are noticing it, but there seems to be this there's an overlap between the billionaire class and Israel. There very much so is. I have personally believed that Israel is a billionaire project. It's started off by billionaires, Lord Rothschilds, who received the Balfour Declaration, and who was, it was all influenced by that. It seems like Israel is a billionaire project, and when you look at the people today that are standing by Israel, that really push U.S. foreign policy towards Israel, it's not your average American. It's the billionaire class. So that's when you start to notice him representing that. And then you look at Zohran Mamdani, completely opposite democratic socialist, doing the complete opposite, winning an election despite, and maybe because of, his stance towards Israel, because of the fact that, again, regardless of whether you're on the left or the right, it was refreshing to see somebody not be part of and purchased by that class of elites. And people relate to that. So this is the state that we're in today. And I'm not sure if the older generation is aware that the tides are turning and they think that it's something that they still have influence over to bring back, or if they're just going to hang on to a sinking ship, which is support for Israel. But clearly, based on the reactions and the response, it's not benefiting them in any way. And people are absolutely sick of it. They're absolutely sick of it. So I'll go ahead and read some of the comments here. If they were objective, they wouldn't be on the left or Fox News watchers. The companies has denied healthcare to countless patients. Eric Adams is corrupt. It goes on and on. So I appreciate all the comments, guys. So Eric Adams, of course, going to a foreign nation and representing his allegiance. I don't know Eric Adams' religious affiliation. I believe Christianity. Regardless, is it truly just because he's a Christian and genuinely he's a Christian Zionist because he has this belief that he needs to stand with Israel? Because whether or not I personally believe in that, a lot of Christian Zionists do in America specifically, or is it because he has just noticed that in his life, being pro-Israel offers more career success, maybe not any not as much recently, but for the past few decades, honestly, if you support Israel, the closer you stand with Israel, the more you have a huge leg up to make it to the top of whatever industry you want to go into, whether or not you have the skill set and the wherewithal to actually be able to handle that position successfully. Simply being supportive of Israel offers you opportunities because, again, it's a billionaire project, and by supporting the billionaire project, it's gonna open doors for you. I mean, Azalea Banks, which is funny. She's the rapper. She seems to go back and forth a lot, and she goes on these X rants and goes crazy. And there was an X rant that she gave. One day she's a staunch Zionist. The next day she says she's sick of Israel. Who knows what's going on with her? But she's made one post, and I appreciated the honest frankness of it all, where she said, "I have everything to gain by being pro-Israel and nothing to lose." And to me, it was like, okay, well, I'm glad somebody just put it out there and said the truth, that when your career is failing or you're not headed anywhere, immediately you start to notice those are the exact people that tend to become pro-Israel right away, and all of a sudden now they're shooting it in their career. It's crazy. Valentina Gomez is a great example. She's on X. She's trying to run for Congress. She's a failed politician. She failed. She failed an election, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat. Was it Alabama or one state? She hopped over to start running in Congress for Texas, and she started to realize, wait, if I cuck to AIPAC, I'll win. So she went from being anti-AIPAC and tweeting to Thomas Massie that AIPAC is a threat to our democracy, to then starting to tweet at AIPAC asking them to support her. And she's, of course, now an extremely anti-Islamist, as she says. And she has noticed that by focusing on that aspect, it's easy for her to gain support by these billionaire elites because she was a failing politician. And if you're a failing politician, you can just ask Ted Cruz how much of a leg up it'll be when you start supporting the foreign nation state of Israel. So that's kind of our American politics today. It is what it is. If you guys found this video interesting, just go ahead and click the subscribe button below. I would appreciate it. And if you want to support me, I also appreciate some super chats. It helps me be able to do these videos more often for you guys. I am going to wrap this video up here, and